Halo is a very fascinating franchise. I find it to be the most interesting and well-made shooter series, which is odd considering we haven't had a good Halo game since 2010. Hell, even Halo's first game is better than these three. I just wish I didn't have to play with these older graphics. I wish it got a remaster. Wait a minute, Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary?
Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary.
Holy shit, 2011 is gonna be so fucking awesome. One of the greatest games of all time, Halo Combat Evolved, being given modern graphics, this is gonna kick ass. Or maybe it's gonna suck ass instead. Now don't get me wrong, this isn't the worst remaster ever or anything. This isn't like Sonic Adventure DX where there's a bunch of gameplay and graphical glitches, but it's also nowhere near as good as Halo 2 Anniversary. That is an actual good remaster. And even then, even though I think technically the Sonic Adventure DX port is worse, or at least it makes the game less playable than its original version, it doesn't piss me off nearly as much as Halo Anniversary. Like if I go play Sonic Adventure right now, I'm gonna be totally fine playing it. Even if it's technically an overall downgrade, it's still a decent way to play the game. However, stay far away from the PC port. It is literal garbage. But if I'm gonna play Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, well, I won't. I'll just switch it to classic graphics. Because the Anniversary mode fucks up so much of the art style, so much of the appeal of these specific levels. All the levels are so goddamn bright that the flashlight is now useless. And not only is the environmental storytelling worse, in one of the levels, they take most of it out. What the fuck? And not only that, but it's, in my opinion, the best level in the whole game. So when the best level in the whole game is made so much worse, that's gonna piss me off. You know what, here, let me get a few good things out of the way before we get into the real shit show. Some of the models they use for some of these weapons are really good. Some of them just look really cool, like the blue version of the Reach shotgun. Even if it doesn't look like the Combat Evolved shotgun at all, seriously, why didn't they use the Halo 3 one? Here I am trying to be positive, I'm still finding negative shit. Like, I get that it was a lot easier just to reuse models from Halo 3 and Halo Reach, but I think it would have made this remaster significantly better if they made new models from scratch. Like with the Needler, there's supposed to be this little compartment that you put your hand into in the first game, but in later games, it's just a little handle. I would have liked if they would have at least added this to one of the previous models. And look at the sniper rifle. This model itself is really good, but look at the reload. What the fuck? They could have changed the animation and the remastered graphics, or they could have just picked a different model to use, or just made a new one. Some of the model choices were actually pretty good, like using the Halo 3 Magnum to represent the Halo 1 Magnum, using Halo 3's MA5C to represent the MA5B, which happens to be my personal favorite Halo weapon. The Halo Reach plasma pistol isn't a bad choice, but I still think the Halo 3 version of the plasma pistol would have fit better. Plasma rifle is good, rocket launcher was pretty good, and again, the blue design for the Halo Reach shotgun looks really cool. I just think this would have been a lot better if they used the Halo 3 shotgun model, since it looks almost the exact same as the Halo 1 model. And let's look at Master Chief's design. Alright, I see what they were going for, but it just doesn't look that good. The original Master Chief design was actually pretty slender. This one's a bit more awkward and bulky and fat like me. It almost reminds me of George, except George didn't have a weird ass small hand problem. The proportions on this are just kinda off. I again want to emphasize, there's very few big problems with the remaster, just a million little problems that all add up. This suit itself has a bunch of little problems. One thing I see people say about this remaster is that it's not trying to recreate the original look of the original game, it's trying to look more like a sequel to Reach. And to that I say, that's pretty cool. But I feel if you're gonna remake or remaster a game, your main priority should be recreating what the original looked like. Of course, in higher graphics. And not only should the graphics have a higher fidelity, but you should also maintain the same art style. And don't get me wrong, Halo Reach has a great art style, but it's definitely a more realistic looking game compared to the original trilogy. So trying to mix the Halo Reach gritty art style with the classic art style just kind of feels off and it doesn't mesh super well. I like that they made a new model for Chief, but oddly enough, this is one of the times where reusing assets would have looked way better. In Halo Reach, you have the single light on your chest, one of my favorite parts about Master Chief's original armor, but they changed that in this, as well as making his chest plate fucking massive. You could have just got a Mark V design from Halo Reach, made it olive green, and put that in the game. You could have made a few more tweaks to it as well, but this would have looked better. But do you know what would have looked the best? Halo 3 Mark V. This right here looks a lot closer to Master Chief's original design than this or this, and I think this would have been the best match. Plus, it just looks like a higher fidelity version of this old design, and it matches and is consistent with the previous art style. The Halo Infinite one or the one in the Halo Studios trailer, those ones look the best, but these won't exist for many years, so I'm not gonna count these. But seriously, look how beautiful this is. You could just added a few mag pouches near the stomach area, boom, perfect.
Alright, now let's talk about the enemies. Halo is like a chess game. All of its enemies have different abilities and different uses and serve a different role, and you have to use the sandbox to figure out how to battle each of them. They each have different designs, body types, and silhouettes to help you distinguish them in fast gunfights. There are also different ranks of these enemies that come in different colors, to let you know that, hey, this red elite is way stronger and smarter than this blue elite. For the most part, the original Bungie games had different colors that were very bright so that you could easily tell what the different ranks were in a gunfight. But in the remaster graphics, the colors are dulled out to try and match the Reach art style. So brightly colored blue and red elites now look darkish blue and really dark magenta. Which, I mean, it's not that bad, but a lot of the time these darker colors blend into the crowds and the backgrounds and the scenery, and I just feel like it was a little bit easier for your eyes to decipher what rank each of them were in a gunfight in the older game. Also in the original game, all of the elites have the exact same armor, just with different colors. Something that the remaster does is give the higher ranks different armor sets from Reach. And sure, while it's not accurate to the original, I overall feel that this is a good change. The only problem is it's taken back a step by the muted colors. If this was a bright red along with this new armor set, that would have been perfect. Also in this remaster, the elites use the Halo Reach model, which maybe it's a little too big, but not that bad. The grunts use the Halo Reach models as well, now with more muted colors, which sucks. The jackals are a little worse because they use the Reach models, which isn't a bad idea, but in the original one a lot of them had dark black skin, and only some of them had this lighter tone. And they're also missing these cool tribal tattoos, and the eyes aren't glowing orange anymore, they're completely wrong. Also, using footage from Late Night Gaming real quick, go watch his channel, you can see that not all the hairs are connected on their head, and they're missing the eyelids from the Reach model. And the shield's not coming out of anything. The jackals didn't look that bird-like in the first game, and they had these big-ass chompers. And also, I think I do change my mind. Maybe it was a bad idea for the Reach model to be used. The animations don't fit right, the model doesn't fit on the skeleton right. As the series went on, they got a little lankier and a little taller. But trying to go back to how short they were in the first game with their tallest model to date, why? Their neck is so squished down, they look hideous. And unfortunately, the problem with models not lining up with the original skeletons is a big problem shared throughout a bunch of enemies in this game. Jackal heads are too squished down, elite heads are too squished down, grunts actually aren't that bad. And the hunters. Oh, the hunters were done awfully in this game. Halo Combat Evolved has the smallest hunters in the series. They're only a little bigger than elites, but they haven't made new models for these enemies yet. Let's just reuse something else that won't fucking work. Here's the Halo Reach model of hunters. Here's the Halo 1 model of hunters. And here's what happens when you get a model that's way too fucking big and try and smush it down into a smaller skeleton. I talked about bad usage of old models, new models that don't really stick the landing, a little bit of the lighting problems, and I really could bitch and complain about this for like 8 hours. But to end off this video, I just want to talk about the environments. I'm gonna be honest, some of them actually do look really beautiful. 343 Guilty Spark's wonderful rainy aesthetic, Halo's beautiful grass,
2 betrayals and assault on the control room's beautiful snowscape. Some of these look pretty damn good, but there are problems. Problems that make me think that they are overall downgrades. So, in most shooter games, you might want to stay behind cover to reduce the amount of bullets hitting you. Let's say you're playing Combat Evolved Anniversary and you're trying to peek around this tree and shoot this enemy. What the fuck? Why is it hitting nothing? And then you go back to the old graphics and, oh, well that fucking explains it. The tree's too big, yet for some reason in the new version, instead of matching up with this, they make the tree anorexic. But because they can't change the hitbox, you're now left with a bunch of invisible barriers around this tree. Meanwhile, in OG Combat Evolved, if you want to peek just slightly around the tree, fucking go for it. And it's not just this one tree, it's all the trees on Halo. Some levels have really dark sections that you have to use your flashlight for. This helps to ground the game, and it also adds a bunch of atmosphere and immerses you within the world. Especially in the later levels when it turns into a little bit of a horror game with the Flood. Going around all the dark corners, using your flashlight, unaware of what's about to jump out at you. The darker, scary levels of the Flood juxtaposed to the boots on the ground military levels against the Flood helps to immerse you in this game. And having all these dimly lit Forerunner sections makes it feel like they're all running on backup power. Like none of this Forerunner tech has been touched in years. What does Anniversary do? It makes the levels way too bright. Now the flashlights are basically useless. In all of the dark sections where it's meant to be eerie and creepy and you have to use your flashlight, not anymore. Someone turned like 50 lights on, and for some reason these Forerunner structures, which haven't been used in so long, suddenly are just so bright. It doesn't make any sense. I find it so easy to get immersed in OG Combat Evolved, and I find it so difficult to get immersed in Combat Evolved Anniversary. The library is all dark and mysterious and scary, and suddenly you're overwhelmed with Flood. Meanwhile in Anniversary, it's really easy to see the Flood because the lights are on. Also, they reused the models of the Flood from Halo 3, which, fair enough, but I kinda miss the little green glow they had in the first game. That's absent here, they don't restore that. I always like the eerie detail that if you look far enough into the darkness, you'll see just a little bit of that green glow, and you'll know that you're not alone, and that you're gonna have to rip some stuff apart. 343 Guilty Spark is my favorite level in the whole game because of its atmosphere and the reveal of the Flood. The dark parts, as previously mentioned in the new graphics, are a lot brighter, so you don't need to use your flashlight as much. But you're walking around and you're wondering, where are all the enemies? Why were they running out just a minute ago? What were they running from? And then on the OG graphics, you get to this little room and you're like, what the hell happened? There's so much blood. But on the new graphics, there's no blood at all. So you might not even look over that way. The blood might catch the corner of your eye and have you look over there in the old graphics, but the new one, I wouldn't blame you if you missed that. A bunch of the Covenant blood is just removed for some reason. And there's a bunch of green flood-like substance, this weird liquid that's dripping in a bunch of places, that's also removed. And I just don't really know why. And then you go down this one elevator, and then you see blood all around the walls as the Flood theme kicks in. And you're like, what the fuck? What the hell happened? I gotta get out of here. On the new graphics, almost no blood. And the music just starts up and you have no idea why. There's no sense of dread. There's no sense of what happened here. I gotta get out of here. Instead, you're just left confused. Like, why is this scary music picking up? I don't really know why this music is starting. This feels really random. And I just feel like they overall butchered the best level in the game. Oh, also, on keys, it's really dark, and the only thing to light your way is this glowing green water and your flashlight. Not on the new version. The new version, you don't need your flashlight anymore. I guess the water's just too bright. I kinda like a little bit of glow from the water, but it's the complete opposite of how it was originally. It's no longer dark, it's bright. It's literally the opposite. God, I hate this Anniversary version. Halo 2 Anniversary has a few of the same problems, sometimes with the lighting, but it's much rarer occasions where the lighting is too bright. Almost all of the reused models make sense. Most of the new models they made are really good. The only one I really don't think fits is the new SMG model. I mean, it looks cool, it's just not the Halo 2 SMG. Also, Halo 2 Anniversary's cutscenes are beautiful. I don't want to talk about Halo 1 Anniversary's cutscenes, they look like some ass. I'm just done talking about Halo 1 Anniversary. The more I think about it, the more it pisses me off, just 'cause it's just fucking bad. There's a million tiny problems that all add up and snowball into this big snowman made of garbage. That is Combat Evolved Anniversary. Was this a good take, or was it a bad take, just like my last video? Do you agree or disagree? Do you think Halo 1 Anniversary is as bad as I say it is? Worse? Nowhere near as bad? Do you think I'm bitching over nothing? If you still enjoy the Anniversary version, more power to you. I just respectfully don't think it's very good. The best thing to come out of it, honestly, was the Halo Reach DLC, with the new firefight maps and the new multiplayer maps. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Consider joining my membership for just $1 a month, and I hope you all have a great day. I'm gonna go play Halo 2 Anniversary since that's an actual good remaster. Or maybe I'll play classic Halo 1. Okay, bye.